Here. Hi, Carly.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm
Hello,
eating my dinner real quick.
Hi, I'm gonna eat too, so off camera, but hello.
Nice to see everyone here tonight. Looks like some folks are still logging in.
It's Carly.
Hey folks, it's Laura. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
I love
yes.
those thumbs up and head shakes and welcome, Patty.
Thank you. Good to see you.
See you too.
There's the co-op.
I don't know, that looks like there's a couple of troublemakers on here. I might have to boot these two off.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, Kirsten.
I have a mute button. Oh, all right.
I'm having a little bit of problem with my headset. I'm gonna pop off and pop back on. So I'm not running away, not yet.
Oh, Carol?
Yeah.
Wow. What?
Now I think I'm all connected.
All right, Laura, I'm gonna make you a co-host again as soon as I can find your name here. There we go.
Thankfully, I do not have anything to share, but you go ahead and make me co-host.
All right, just in case. But I should let everyone know that this is being recorded.
It's nice to see the numbers climb. Yay. Let's see, everybody is slowly starting to trickle on and we're at 5:30. So I will welcome you all. Thank you for attending our 2022 annual meeting online. I appreciate those of you that have chosen to spend your evening with us, at least for about an hour-ish, and come to hear our great happenings with the co-ops, what's going on forward, and our amazing speaker, Patty Dreier, later in the festivities here, as festive as we can get online, you know, yay. So without further ado, I will move on to my board message. I want to remind you, because your board has worked very hard to update our end statement and remind you that CFC exists to be a core participant in the Healthy Local Food Network, where consumers have access to a wide variety of locally produced products. Support is provided to individuals, co-ops, and other local groups in the production of healthful good foods in our community. Our members should take pride in their co-op, and we hope to make that just super easy to do. CFC is a leader in the fair treatment of workers, and we continue to push on and try to make those things the best that they can be, especially as a leader in our community. Knowledge is shared regarding healthful living choices, and our environment is considered in all actions. Our goal is to continue to expand our local food economy and healthful food availability to our community. those are the things that we think about every time we make a decision with your co-op, your investments, and the hopefully healthy choices and wonderful things that you can find inside the store and the wonderful faces that you see as you come in. Hi, little guy, you are adorable. Hey, Northwind. I appreciate you all being here. This is, and I say it in our board meetings too, this is one of the meetings that I always look forward to. Our board members are this great group of people with all these wonderful different perspectives that they all bring together to help our co-op be the best it can be. And I always appreciate them and the things that they do. I appreciate all you members that have decided to show up today. And I will warn you, my little 5 minutes of this will dribble into the Board of Directors annual report because it's all hooked together. Those are the things that we think about all the time. We have been pushing forward into creating a new long-term plan and vision for the co-op. You know, we have your money and we continue to strive and push towards all of those things in our end statement to make them better and better and better each time with each decision that we make. You know, our numbers have been great, mostly because you guys have been very supportive, very kind, and very helpful when you come into the store. And we appreciate you all so much for remaining not only the biggest, the fiscal supporters of our co-op, but also the biggest wind beneath our wings. You know, as you guys kept coming through all of the just unrest that we've had in the last couple of years, it has been great to see you guys continuing to find ways, whether curbside or coming in with your masks, just to continue to support such a great place and just be the definition of what a cooperative group is. You guys are the co-op. You are the reason we do all this. And together we hope to continue to push this into a greater and greater space. Your board has been working on things, trying to make everything better. So we have gone through our policies. We've created this great policy committee. The members that are on that look at each one of our policies, try to make it relevant in the year that we're in, because each year is different things and different tasks that we have to do and different motives for each decision. So we're looking at each one of our policies to make sure that the membership and the things you have mentioned to us are thought of every time we look at one of our policies, to make sure that there's always the member as the driving force between for the decisions that we make. I'm hoping as we go through this visioning process and long-term planning that you all and anyone you see, because I hope you guys are going to make sure that everyone around you in your circles as fellow co-op members, that you remind them to give their input to. We want to make sure that as we make these decisions, your input is the top and continues to be that driving force I was just talking about. We'll have, Kirsten will have more in her piece of this, but I want you to know that those are the things that concern us the most, is that you are always that driving force. like I said, our numbers have been great. We're working with trying to get different products for you to try. The board has been making sure that your money's been used and get the best. And we hope that this next few months, as we go through this process and continue to push, that you will continue to give us that feedback. Does anybody have any questions? I love these Zoom meetings. I can see everybody's faces and nobody ever wants to talk. Always remember too, you don't have to wait for one of these meetings. You can always talk to one of your board members and they can bring a question or concern, or Kirsten. Oh, I see Northwind. Hey, Northwind.
Hi. There is a number of challenges I think that we as a society face in the years ahead, and we as a co-op are going to face too. One is vastly diminishing plastic packaging. And I don't mean, just an extra sheet of plastic around things, but a lot of things come in plastic bottles, plastic jars, and they're wrapped with plastic and stuff. I know the co-op's made some really good efforts in the produce department. And I also know that a lot of the stuff you order and put on the shelves is overwrapped in plastic. What can we do about it? What can the board of directors do?
Well, great point and great question. As we go through this, I mean, it's more of an operations kind of question for Kirsten, but I think as a board, we can put forth more measures such as, if you notice recently, we've been charging for bags. So to try to give people a little more incentive to bring their own bags, or use the cardboard boxes and things. So we continue to push towards those things. I have a note about that. And as we go through our long-term planning, that is a great topic. And it is a great direction for the co-op to continue to push. Is there anyone else that has any questions? Stop clicking my pen because I get to that. Okay, well, I'm slightly short of my spot, but I will. Mick, there you go.
Kirsten, I'm sorry, Laura. Do we have to approve minutes in this process? I'm looking at the agenda.
Yep.
And it says something about approving last. So I'll throw that back at you.
Yeah, I'll do that at the end of this. Like I said, I kind of smushed the two sections together, so. Is there anyone else? Okay, we can move on to that approving the minutes that were from last year's online annual meeting. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, I have a motion by
And
Cynthia.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, and I have a second by Mick. Is there any questions on the minutes? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor of approving last year's minutes as they are printed in our agenda packet, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye and thumbs up. I love it. Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, guys. Next on our agenda is Kirsten with her general manager's report and any questions.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for making it out tonight. Welcome to our third remote annual meeting. The past year has presented us with some unique challenges and successes, to be sure. The pandemic raged. It was difficult to hire. Product availability became entirely random. In other words, a rampant virus, no product, and shorthanded. There's certainly challenging factors when running a grocery store. Despite all of this, I feel like we managed to do pretty well and even did some good in our community in the process. I can't stress this enough. Our success is entirely due to the loyal patronage of owners such as yourselves. So thank you. If we were alive, I'd give you all a big hand, but maybe next year. I'd like to share some highlights of the past year that you might find interesting. Sales, despite a record-breaking sales year in 2020, we managed to continue with some sales growth in 2021, ending the year with 6.5% sales growth. Being financially sound allowed us to pay off 2 small loans totaling $160K. And we issued over $65,000 in staff profit sharing bonuses. Additionally, we were able to issue $85,000 in patronage rebates based on our 2020 sales. This was our first since 2013, and it felt like a huge success to give profit back to our owners. Patronage rebates are a board decision. I certainly don't want to speak for the board, but it looks like there might be some potential to issue another rebate this year based on our 2021 sales. So stay tuned for that in the next month or so. Product availability. I'm sure y'all have noticed product availability issues, whether you've been shopping at the co-op or anywhere else. First, it was baking yeast, and it's kind of moved on to just about everything under the sun. Product, packaging, delivery. One area that we were really able to shine in all this was around our local products. For the first time ever, we broke the $1 million mark in local product sales in 2021, which we purchased from 99 local producers and farmers. So we thought that was kind of cool to share with you. We actually have a 20% off local sale coming up next week, Thursday through Saturday in honor of Earth Day as well. So be sure to make it in for that. As far as staffing, you probably have all heard of labor shortages in every sector over the last year. Hiring was certainly a challenge, but perhaps not as much so for us as for some other area businesses. I feel like our current team is better than ever. We have roughly 44 employees at any given time. We've been doing some work to increase our wages and we'll continue to do so. We also paid out over $65,000 in profit sharing bonuses last year. I'd like to take a moment to give a big shout out to our co-op team, a few of which are on the meeting tonight. Working with you is such a great part of my job and what makes it really rewarding. You all are awesome. Thank you for everything you do. Outreach, our co-op outreach efforts have made a comeback. We had 39 classes last year, the majority of which were full. We'll look for an even bigger class lineup as we go through 2022. We've got a few new instructors, some classes on the way that we're excited about. And as always, if you feel like you have a skill to share, please let us know. We're always looking for instructors. Community donations, we raised over $15,000 through your contributions for Round partners, shipping up at the registers. It supported 12 different community organizations, plus over $870 and 1,200 pounds of food were donated to the Brick Ministries through your contributions. The co-op also donated over $1,500 in event sponsorship and other community sponsorships donations throughout the past year. The microloan program is still going strong. We were able to issue 9 no interest loans in 2021, totaling over $28,000, and we have another $15,000 we just awarded last week, going out to 4 different producers. In terms of environmental efforts, all of the lighting on the ground floor of the store was converted to LEDs to help reduce electricity use. Through basic conservation efforts, we were able to lower our city water consumption, making 2021 the lowest year for water use in the last 3 years. The co-op diverted nearly 42,000 pounds of food waste and other compostables from the landfill in 2021 through a partnership with Northern College, now Big Lake Organics. This partnership with an industrial composter also allowed us to compost compostable plastic containers and bags. We have a few new initiatives for 2022. For starters, we implemented the charge for paper bags that Laura mentioned earlier. At 10 cents per large bag, it's between half and a third of the cost of an actual good quality bag. But the idea behind charging is less to recoup our costs than it is to create habits of using reusables. Meanwhile, we also continue to give out bag and container credits to those who bring their own. The co-op issued nearly $2,000 in bag and container credits in 2021. At 5 cents a pop, that's almost 40,000 single-use bags and containers saved. We've also partnered with Hunger Task Force out of Milwaukee to bring you the Produce Double Dollars program that we launched the first of the year. It gives folks on EBT a 50% discount on their produce purchases. In a time when food prices are suffering from a lot of inflation, we're glad to be able to assist and encourage the consumption of fresh organic produce. We've already been able to save shoppers over $15,000 in produce this year alone. We're currently working on a new 5-year strategic plan, as Laura had mentioned, to help direct the future of the co-op. We'll be trying to collect your thoughts and ideas over the next few months, including a shopper survey, which launches on Tuesday, actually. If you're on our co-op email list, keep an eye open for a link to the survey. That'll just be one of several ways that you can share your input with us. I'd also like to announce that we are planning to get a solar panel install on our roof, hopefully this year. So that's in the works. Once again, I can't express how grateful we are to all of our customers who have helped us with another year, make it so successful, both in terms of sales and positive initiatives. Your support means everything to our co-op. Thank you. That was kind of a quick high-level overview of what we've been doing. I think I've got time for some questions. I'm also generally available at the store if anybody wants to catch me in person. Thank you all for coming out tonight, and be sure to stick around until the end of the meeting. We've got some prizes for you all. Any questions? Look at that, no questions. This was better than I thought.
Anybody have any comments or praise also?
Thanks, Sarah.
That's always welcome too.
Yeah, where are the free beer coupons?
You know, that's a great question. I have it on a good report that your board is maybe working on some sort of a summer picnic where we can all be outside together and do something like free beer coupons. So I'll make sure they know that one should be on the list.
Okay, we do have something.
There's a note here from, I'm having trouble reading people's text here, but I think there's a note from, oh, look at that. It shows up on the side. There's some text here. From Cheryl, asking how am I able to do the jobs of 3 people? I'm not doing the jobs of 3 people. I've got a great team. And if you're referring to the general management team of a few years ago, that we were 3 people having our regular jobs and also sharing the hat of general manager. So we do have a very awesome marketing person. We have a couple folks doing the role of finance, and I'm still handling operational things and general management. But some days, you're right, it is a big job. Not a question, just want to say we're happy to live somewhere where the co-op just moved to the area this past winter. We're glad to be co-op supporters. Awesome, welcome to the area.
Yes, much support, Lindsay, thank you. Anyone else have anything? The board also really appreciates Kirsten and the efforts that she's made during the pandemic and as we're hopefully trying to come out of it. Jane, did you have something? I saw you on mute.
Thanks, Kirsten.
Thank Jane.
So, but yes, we miss you guys' faces. And so during the summer, we will be putting, actually on our next meeting next week, we will be starting the process to find out all those wonderful details to get together in some open air format. So hopefully it will be warm and sunny. The last few weeks have proven to be a little challenging in a couple of those areas, but we'll do our best because we want everybody to be able to get together and have that social connection, because we know how much we miss seeing you, and we can find a way, you know. So anything else, guys? All right.
All right, thank you all.
Now next, without further ado, is our wonderful speaker. I met Patty in probably 2010 in Stevens Point when I used to live there. She was this wonderful person that with this positive outlook that was always the person you looked forward to seeing anytime you went anywhere. She cares deeply about people and the earth, and she has dedicated her life to empowering young adults and others, I will put in there, to stand up for the planet and themselves. She's written a wonderful book, and she has changed the lives of people through her public service, whether she's, I know she is currently the chair or the president of the Ice Age Trail Alliance and the president of the Wisconsin Conservation Hall of Fame Foundation. She is a wonderful person with a great speech that's coming up, and I am so happy to introduce Patty Dreier.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Laura, and everybody here tonight. What do we have? We have 31 people online with us tonight, and it is indeed an honor. I want to wish you happy Earth Week as we kick it off, right? And I don't know, just this opportunity right now to be part of that is a fantastic thing as we share this time together tonight. When I talk with you tonight, I am talking about caring for the Chequamegon Bay area like it is my own backyard, and caring about the earth, the whole earth, as if it is my own backyard. I am the author of Empowered One Planet at a Time. And this book, Laura, did you receive a copy in the mail for your prizes tonight?
I do have a copy for that, and Miss Sarah and Kirsten have that book, and they're ready to give it out to one lucky person later.
Great. I'm just trying to put this view together so it's not quite as distracting as it has been. All righty, there we go. All right, so on the Happy Earth Week note, one of the stories in my book, Empowered One Planet at a Time, that was published in time for the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, is that I had this one amazing opportunity in my life to be the chauffeur for Senator Gaylord Nelson, the father of Earth Day. And so the book actually starts out with that story, but I want to share with you just a little bit, a nugget about that story with that one-to-one time with Gaylord Nelson, because it's a rare thing for a person to have this chance and to do it on the top of Earth Week, but also to do it with people who are in the Chequamegon Food Co-op and in your community for the differences you have already made. Just that report that Kirsten shared blew me away. What a beautiful story of success. And I applaud you. I applaud you all. So here I am in the car with Gaylord Nelson. He's in the back seat over here and I'm driving. I'm a student at UW Stevens Point. And I'm scared because I don't want to kill the father of Earth Day by some freak accident, right? That would be really horrible. And I'm a good driver, but at that point I was thinking, oh my goodness, I'm not in charge of everybody else is driving on the road. So anyway, you'd read the story, but at some point, as this nervous college student studying natural resources in my background, I am driving him from Oshkosh to Stevens Point, where he is going to be honored by the Wisconsin Conservation Hall of Fame and inducted in this, in 1986, this was. And so I get up the gumption because he's studying papers in the back seat and all of that. And I get up the gumption. I'm like, okay, I'm going to say something as this young person. And so I said, thank you for founding Earth Day. And his answer to me in a not verbatim, but the sense of his answer as I had it flow back to me through all of these years is, the credit goes to the people who stood up and spoke up in their own places and in their own ways to make sure changes would happen about issues that mattered to them. So the credit goes to them in his answer. And I want to give you all credit in that same spirit for what I heard about your report about the 99 local producers and farmers, about the $1 million, about the payback to your members, about the numbers of classes increasing, about how you made it through all the things that we've had to struggle through, all of us in these last few years. And there you are with a story of success tonight. And I looked up your history, and I was learning that it was 46 years ago that your founders organized to create that local food cooperative that you are today, and they hung the shingle in Ashland 46 years ago. Are any of you part of that group? Laura, I see your hand up too. So please, I'd love to have hands up and help me identify where the questions may come from and the discussion points might come from. So Laura, were you part of it?
I was not part of it, but one of our board members was definitely part of the original buying group, and that is Gary Sherman.
And is Gary, I know Gary Sherman, is Gary here tonight?
Sure am. How are you doing, Patty?
Oh my goodness, that is so good to hear your voice.
Yeah, it's nice to see you.
Yeah, likewise. Oh, there you are. I'm looking for the square on my screen. There you are, Gary. Well, good to see you. So you are one of the founders 46 years ago.
It just means I'm old.
Stop. That's just the awesomest thing. Okay. Well, anyway, so it's time to celebrate who you are even more so, because you demonstrate what that perseverance is all about. And it's something to be so proud of. I'm excited to be here with all of you, my Chequamegon Bay friends in sustainability, and that gives me inspiration. It's especially times like these. Have any of you encountered what's called eco-anxiety? It's a new term I heard only about a month and a half ago. Yep, I see some hands up. About eco-anxiety. That's the stress about what's going on with our planet, and those of us who are conscious of and concerned about ecological, social, future-oriented matters on this planet are feeling this extra stress. We're owning it, right? And so anyway, in these times of climate threats and mass extinctions, the pandemic and war, to add to all of that, not to mention all the other conflicts and so on in the world, it can feel overwhelming, and it can feel on certain days a bit hopeless, right? I mean, honestly, here we are working so hard. You're saving paper bags from the landfill and so on. And there's someone blowing the world up to smithereens on the other side of the planet right now. And it's like, oh my Lord, this is just, this is very, very difficult. So why should we, right? Why should we keep working so hard when it seems that some others aren't caring maybe, or aren't rowing in that same direction? And I guess that's what I wanted this message to be all about for you tonight. It's about remembering that we have today and only today for the kinds of actions that we can take to sustain this planet. And it's all the more important because of some people not caring, some people not able to care for whatever the reasons. They're just trying to survive. So it isn't their job right now. It's our job because we can. And because we are who we are, because we have the values that we have. And so to sit back and do nothing is a path to hopelessness and a path to not having the kind of future that we want for our children, such as the little guy I saw here tonight on one of the screens, which I so appreciated. But we all represent so many other people who aren't with us here tonight. And so anyway, where does hope come from then? Well, you know what? I know there's Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson and all of that. But to me, hope comes from applying one's own heart and seeing others apply theirs to make the world a better place. It's about goodness. It's about seeing these small seeds or larger seeds of goodness grow. And that's exactly what the food co-op in Chequamegon Bay is all about. If you ask me, a person who used to walk over and get my lunch from the shelves there as a person in the community, it's really making the world a better place. That's the action piece about hope. And so when we create a community as you have, we reinforce the idea that we are in it together, that we are not alone, that we are in it together. And again, I want to congratulate you on creating such an amazing community, a local food community and a local community of service and care for each other in Ashland and the Ashland area. In that community, we're reminded every day that we benefit from each other and that we're essential to the puzzle. Just like Kirsten was talking about each person making a contribution. And it's about leveraging strengths. You know, I heard her say that if you got something to teach, you know, reach out and let us become that platform where you can share what you know. That's leveraging strengths. It's about people who are members choosing to shop, choosing the collaborative, cooperative way, or standing up to be a board member, or contributing to a committee, reviewing those policies, whatever it takes, or selling your wares, growing the crops that in turn make it to the store. And in setting the priority that a shared mission and shared positive outcomes are worth it. So through your collective actions, you show me what hope looks like in the whole world. This is what the hope of the future looks like. In fact, if you think about it, the co-op model is a perfect model for local solutions, but also global solutions. And I want to give you an example. So based on the principle of cooperation, most literally, and achieving a shared mission, it's about owning the outcomes together. The same is needed as we consider daunting global issues like climate change. Imagine if the people and governments across our planet embraced the co-op model today as fully as you are. Imagine that they are fully committed to it like you are, or you wouldn't be here tonight. Imagine that they would leverage their strengths collectively and cooperate toward the shared goal, a better future that could be co-owned by all. And so the point is, we don't have choices except the cooperative model. Honestly, as we take a look at the climate change issue and what it will take to happen across the planet to prevent the global average temperature from rising 1.5 degrees Celsius. The power lies in the numbers of people rallying around a common cause. And the same power will be needed to turn this tide for tomorrow. So you are the model. And I challenge you as you're looking to the future, what else can you be doing to be deliberate about sharing this model, this very successful, lasting model that you have? And I heard you talk about the future and needing to innovate answers for the future, but how you could share that beyond your team here, your cooperative team, all of your membership, so that you could teach others. Because you have something to teach as a model, not just as individuals, but as a model to others, as you're sustaining your community and helping others beyond your community be sustained too. So here's a few tips I have gleaned from my book. I've randomly picked a few things that I wanted to offer you, and then read an excerpt of the book, and then ask if you might have questions or things that we could talk about together. I'll tell you just a tad more about the book right after I take care of this section here in this brief time that we have tonight. So as you look to the future, continue to feed the nature of power within you as individuals, by tapping the wonders of nature. And of course, that's an easy thing to do up in Chequamegon Bay, and reaping their healthful benefits. And nurturing your crops counts toward that. Nurturing your arts and your creativity all counts toward feeding the power within you, which is where the courage and confidence and the will to keep hoping forward, keep acting forward will come from. Then tap and share the power around you. And that's the power of your plugins, as in your plugins through the internet, your plugins to people around you, but your plugins into your community, the connections you make across, within and across your community all count toward this sharing the power around you kind of thing, sharing your model with those wider audiences so they can ripple out and grow even more positively across the land. So essential for our future. And I believe this will also energize your movement in general. The more that you look a little more outward, perhaps, then you're concentrating on your inward membership, kind of balance out a little bit, looking more outward, and you will energize the movement that is your movement. And that will have a lot of positive outcomes. Learning lessons and using tough times to your advantage. I heard you talk about tough years behind you, and I'm sure there were others that haven't been mentioned tonight. But taking lessons from them and using them in a positive way to drive or to fuel us forward or to innovate us forward is what it's all about. So continuing to accept that tough times happen, but using them in a positive way will just, diffuse any fear of making mistakes or fear of trying something that didn't work the way that you intended it to or whatever. So anyway, learning those lessons and using tough times to your advantage. Celebrating successes. Do you celebrate enough? I heard the mention about where's the beer, where's that beer credit coming from? That's very cool. So, and the idea that you're going to celebrate, hopefully face to face in a picnic or outdoor setting somewhere, it's just a fabulous thing to do, and you deserve it. And this is again where you're going to have greater opportunities to build more human capital that's going to support your movement going forward. Making progress is the next one, but not worrying about perfection. We get crippled by perfection all the time. And there was a time when I would really strived a lot more for perfection than I do now, because I got wiser. Anybody else like that? You're like, okay, I gave that one up a while ago. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and it's okay to make those mistakes. For how else will we learn and figure our way forward? And there's some great examples in the book about working through those things. Persevering because you give a voice to others. Persevere because you give a voice to others, and your cooperative model shows others that way, as I've mentioned before. And then recognize that what you are doing in the Chequamegon Food Co-op is you are paying it forward. It might seem that you're going to buy your product or to sell your product or to share your product, educate on your product through the co-op. But the bottom line is you are literally paying it forward because you're giving toward this movement that is the legacy that you're building. It's already a legacy if it's been around a half a century almost. And it took a lot before you even got to hang your shingles. So I'm sure if you think about the 46 years old from its from the year that it hung a shingle, that took years of gearing up before, certainly at least many months of gearing up before to get there. So where will it take you? And where will you take our planet through your work? Those are some questions that I wanna leave you with in those nuggets from Empowered One Planet at a Time. Now I'd like to share that excerpt, and then we'll see if we can have a bit more of a bit of a conversation and find out if you've got questions or ideas that you would like to share. The excerpt I'm going to read is from page 114, and it's out of my journal on a day when I was finding my way to write this book. All right, so here it is. It seems overwhelming. It may seem like it's too late or not enough people care. Or what I can do is a little splash in a big sea. But perhaps the greatest gift of all is that we can break it down and take it one planet at a time. To stand up is to believe in ourselves, to define what matters to us, and not to wait for others, but to ask them to join us. Not to defer, but to start now. To understand that no matter what, no matter where I live, no matter what my own situation, I am a citizen of planet Earth, and together we, empowered citizens of this planet, can turn the tide. We can take back our rights to the freedoms of clean air and water. We can reconnect with our natural world where love and life grow, and develop environmental ethics in our children. We have a voice, millions of them, and the power of those voices and votes can far outweigh special interests, which selfishly want to have their way and wealth at the expense of our children and our health and our future. This is a long game, not a flash in the pan. On the way to feeling empowered, we have to overcome our own demons like I'm not enough, or I don't know enough, or my actions won't matter. We also have to move beyond I'll be in danger, or I'll be seen as blank or hated for blank. We can't worry that we may not be able to finish the job either. We just have to start. We must stand up for what we know to be right. We must find a way, then persevere. There is always something we can contribute. All the technology in the world will not substitute for thinking, caring people who are done letting their planet be destroyed. This web of life is yours and mine. It's our lifeblood. Start where you are. Gather friends. Seek power in numbers. This is about justice, peace, transformation, living in harmony, taking it one step, one planet at a time. So that's the excerpt, and I appreciate the opportunity to share it tonight. Sometimes, when you're doing that rapid writing, things can come out you didn't even know were there. That is so powerful. And that's literally what was in my journal. And that laid the foundation for the book. Empowered One Planet at a Time, as I said before, was published in time for the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. It's intended to equip readers to stand up for their planet and themselves by helping them develop the tools for local and global action. And for reading circles of people, there are 83 or 84 questions for discussion in the back of the book so that folks can grow in reading circles as they talk through and work through the matters in the book. There are worksheets and there are website resources to enhance the experience. The website is Blue Spring, the color blue, the season spring.life. And you're welcome to go there, take a look around, and you can always contact me through the website if you have questions. This book is already global and is available across the world. It's hard, soft, and ebook, and an audiobook I've been working on for a while is just about finished. And the artwork was commissioned locally to enhance our local community by buying the art locally for the inside of the book and part of the cover. And then the cover was also designed by a Pakistani artist. So that, combined with my colleagues over in Europe who helped to co-write the afterword of the book, make it a 3-continent book so far. So it's very exciting to be able to bring a global book to the global community. So that's it, and that's me for right now. And I'd like to see if you've got questions or comments, or Laura, maybe after you've taken a look at some things and you and I have communicated a little bit, maybe you want to kick something off. We have about 5 minutes, at least if you were following the schedule that you had outlined for me previously.
Thank you, Patty. Does anyone have any questions or any statements? This can be fully interactive now, so.
It's all okay. Believe me, it's all okay.
I appreciate you taking the time for this. I know, as I have written articles for the Grapevine, that these same themes that you talk about are the ones that I do too, because the only way we're going to fix any of the issues that we have is for all of us to work together. And I know we talk, oh, Gary's got something too. I know we talk about in the Chequamegon Bay cooperating because we're smaller cities and we need to, and we should. So your themes are right along with that, and I appreciate that. Gary? Oh, you have to unmute.
There you go. Is that better? So thank you, Patty. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I don't have a pie to shove in your face to return the favor. But
Yeah.
I appreciate your mentioning Gaylord, because I think we here have an awful lot of Gaylord's legacy around us. We have the Apostle Islands, we have the Namakogon River and the St. Croix. You know, I mean, we benefited greatly from his efforts, and I really appreciate that. And from yours, of course, also. Thanks.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you. I see notes in the chat too about a Child's Earth Day campaign and about writing books and so on. How exciting. So these actions, it's easy for us to carry on what we're doing and forget that we're really literally taking actions, that we should stand back, zoom out and say, wow, I am making the world a better place, or he is, or she is. And so that's fabulous. That's what gives me hope, because you can get so dang depressed some days thinking about how daunting the challenges are ahead of us. Anybody else? Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys think of anything?
There's one other thing that I could share as we wrap up tonight. There's a story in the book. I used to live in Europe for 6 years in my life as a military spouse. And so I lived in Europe before the wall came down and after. So I saw the contrast, and these things ring with me, especially in today's day when we look at what's going on in Ukraine, and reaching out to my German friends to remind them that we're here if there's some assistance we can give, as we don't know if the war will spread and so on. And I realized this isn't the only conflict in the world either. It's just one that hits me closest for certain reasons. But anyway, as we go about the process of what's kind of reckoning with what's in the world right now in our contemporary issues, it reminded me of a story in the book. I'm a lifelong Girl Scout. Are any other Girl Scouts amongst us today? Oh, yeah. Anyway, I was a guest speaker, the keynote speaker at the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts conference in Sonthofen, Germany. And this was in 1992. And so the wall had just come down, and we had, I just want to find my page here, and we had our first conference where Girl Guides, that's the Girl Scouts in other countries, Poland, Hungary, Russia, and Czechoslovakia at that time, attending that international conference. And one of the things that was incredibly powerful and has influenced me my entire life was that we heard them talk freely about how in their respective countries, again, Poland, Hungary, Russia, and Czechoslovakia, under the communist rule before the wall came down, they had to do girl guiding underground. They had to hide that they were girl guiding to keep it alive in their own countries, because if it was detected, as they shared, by the communist government in control at that time, that girl guiding, well, there would have been a serious punishment they talked about, that it was seen as freedom, right? A freedom movement. So anyway, if they'd been caught, they shared that they would have been seriously punished, but in fact, they risked their lives and continued to keep girl guiding alive in their families, communities, and countries. So I'm going to relate this back to us here tonight in the next moment or two. So you might ask, why did it become such a risk to participate in a scouting program behind the Iron Curtain? Why would government leaders care? It's because there's power in groups of people assembling around a common idea. Because there's power in people who build knowledge and skills and networks. Because the freedom of assembly, of demonstration, of developing a unified voice are some of the greatest powers of all. And of course, we're seeing what's happening over in Russia now as they shut down, the chance to demonstrate by jailing folks if they do, or threatening worse, by creating a media that's a propaganda engine and so on. And so, and the other thing in all this girl guiding movement was that it was about elevating the power of women too. And of course, that was seen as a threat. So many of us might not consider girl guiding or girl scouting as acts of defiance against the establishment, because the mission is summed up simply to empower girls and women. And yet, it was for this story that I'm telling you. So here you are. You have perhaps more power than you as a group understand that you have, or maybe than you've ever tapped yet. And I'm saying, relish that power, continue to develop it positively, and let it continue to move your movement forward for its a meaningful movement, an important movement, and the future we're talking about. So I thank you so much for being that model and that inspiration for people like me, like those girl guides have been models and inspirations for me too. Tell me how I can help if there ever is anything, okay?
Thank you, Patty. I give you lots of kudos and for bringing all of that around and down and relating it to, us ourselves and the power that we have. We're always talking, you have your vote, you have this. We have this group of people who decided that cooperating together was the best for their communities, and look what it's become. It started out with a buying group, and now we're a legion. We're a legion of thousands. Just our group of our co-op. So we are definitely stronger than each individual feels, but together we can make lots of change. So thank you very much.
Well done, everybody. Here's back to you.
Okay, if there's no more questions, then we can, Mick.
No,
ahead.
I know I'm next on
Very
the
good.
agenda, so I'm waiting for you to say, Mick, take
Okay.
over.
All right, Mick. I'm going to throw over to Mick to handle the candidates.
Okay.
And thank you again, Patty.
Yeah, I'd like to chime in too, Patty. Thank you very much. And thank you for the message. And thank you to Kirsten and Laura for their messages and all they've given us. And I would just like to say one thing as the VP. The strategic plan is very important and it fits very well with what Patty and Laura just said. This is your time to tell us what you see as important. Where do you want us to go next as a co-op? Where do you want us to force our efforts, put our efforts? You know, we have a wonderful store. Kirsten and team have done a wonderful job with what we have. And now we're looking at what next, and we need your inputs. So please give us your inputs over the next several months, as Kirsten has been pointing out. With that, we have kind of some business at hand. You know, we have elections every year where about a third of our board changes over. We have 2 open seats this year, and we have 3 wonderful candidates, all very capable. So I'm going to hand it off to each of them in sequence and let them tell you all about who they are, why they want to be part of the co-op, why they are part of the co-op, what they see as their strengths to bring to our team. And then it's up to us to vote who we think are the best candidates to keep the board and the co-op going in the right direction. So those 3 candidates we have Sarah Adams, we have Vincent Curta, and we have Laura Negro. And I'm going to start in that order. Sarah, I'm going to hand it off to you. Can you take it away and tell us about yourself, please?
Sure. So having a last name that starts with A, all my life has made me not be too have too much stage fright. But anyway, well, so I had some things prepared, but Patty really inspired me, and I feel like I might go in a whole different direction, or anyway, based on kind of some of the things she said. My experience as far as being qualified to be on the board, I've worked for a library board for the last 20 plus years. So I understand how the dynamics of a board and the communication among board members with the CEO, which is kind of what a library director is. I have a good understanding of how that works, but I have to say that being on the board as an appointed person since November and starting to be introduced to policy governance, the co-op model is fascinating, and it is a learning curve, but I'm really interested in it. And then, so that kind of leads me to what Patty was saying, as far as like, how do we share this model? And how do we share the power? And I think one thing I would like to focus on, and I think that Kristen is behind me in this, and I think that the board is also behind me, and that is sharing the power with our employees and making sure that we are creating an environment where our employees are supported, but also become like members of the community. And so they have financial support and training support so they can live in Ashland and you know, just be foundational members of our community, just like the co-op is kind of a foundation in our community. And the other way, you know, how can we share this power? I started thinking about Gaylord Nelson and Walter Mondale and the cooperation that they had to do to make the Apostle Islands a national lakeshore and to make the St. Croix a national waterway. So how can we as co-ops, you know, we have a great local focus, and it's impressive to see the $1 million spent on local producers. And I don't want to lose that focus, but Patty kind of made me start thinking about like, okay, so nationwide, how can we get all the co-ops? And this is probably already happening and I just don't know about it, but how can we get all the co-ops to really start acting nationally to influence legislation that kind of, benefits the co-op model and opens it up for more businesses to adopt it. So that's a big thing, but that's something that is probably kind of critical when we look at our just the society the global society that we're living in right now. So that's all I think I've taken up enough time.
Okay, Sarah, thank you very much for your words. Vincent, we're going to toss it to you next. I'm looking for you. Oh, there you're showing up on. So I will hand it to you, Vincent. Please give us a little info on yourself and what you're hoping to accomplish with the co-op.
Okay, thank you. Can you see and hear me?
I can.
Excellent. Yeah, my name is Vince Curda. I am the owner and operator of Curda Law Office here in downtown Ashland, 404 Main Street West. Before that, starting up my own practice here, I was assistant district attorney for Sawyer County. Before that, I was a staff attorney with Bad River. And before that, I was an associate with the late Craig Hawkes at Hawkes Law Office. When I was with Hawkes, I was a member of various boards here in Ashland, Criminal Justice Council, Children of Incarcerated Parents. We were a member of the Chamber of Commerce also. And when I left Hawkes and moved over to Bad River, I became less involved with boards. And then when I became assistant district attorney, I had to drop everything altogether because I just wasn't available. And it was more fair to let someone else take my spot in those various entities. But now that I have my own law practice, I'm back and I want to get back into the community, what I had to give up before. So I have reclaimed my spot with the Friends of the Center Alliance with our Northern Great Lakes Visitor Center. And I'm going to get back with the Chamber of Commerce, even though Mary might not be expecting me, but I'm going to get back with that. So I'm going to become more involved with my community now that I have more time and that I'm actually back in the community. So I guess why do I want to be more involved with our co-op? Well, there's a phrase, a saying, and I'm going to clean up my language a little bit for it, but it pretty much says, don't crap where you eat. I believe the inverse of that must also be true. Maybe help where you eat. And my family certainly eats enough from the co-op. And I know the folks there see me all the time at lunchtime. And I know Jane even has my membership number memorized, which is pretty impressive because I forget it sometimes. And I've been a member of co-ops for a long time. When I lived in Minneapolis, I was a member of the Wedge Co-op, and I think I still am. I think I'm vested there, but I just haven't been there since 2003. And I tried to get on the board for that temporary spot in November. And if you don't let me in this time, I'm going to keep bothering you until you let me in. So, but one thing that I talked about then, and that I heard about just tonight, is that $1 million mark we heard about for our local producers. And if anything, we had any blessing from this damn COVID, it was that. We had to buckle down, and I guess especially because of the transportation breakdown and maybe production of workers nationally, we had to look more locally. And I'm very impressed and proud that the co-op was able to get that from our local producers. And I think that by them being more successful, hopefully they can expand as well and maybe branch out a little bit farther also, and maybe make themselves more productive as well. And hopefully for the consumer, I hope that'll help reduce our costs, but maybe also their production costs. They can invest more in different kinds of equipment and whatnot. So I think all in all, that's one blessing, which I know we have to look deep for from COVID. So that's very important, because we all can't grow everything for ourselves. I'm blessed enough to have a little bit of land that isn't covered with trees, that my wife and kids, mostly, I can only do so much because of my allergies being outside. So we can grow some things, but we can't grow everything. For example, kiwi berries, we can't grow those. And I'm thankful that the co-op produces those, because those are damn good. And I think maybe with the expansion of these local producers who have benefited, maybe, like I said, maybe they can expand some more. I know here the growing season is really short and messed up. For example, it's getting towards the end of April, and there's still snow on the ground, and maybe the ground is still partially frozen. And it's not like that south in the States. They're already plowing and tilling their gardens. So, maybe we can get more producers here who can put up some greenhouses, which will increase the growing season. So hopefully they can expand and get into that. I know I like to do that. I'm just not built for that. So I really appreciate being on the board. Like I said, I'm a member of the board at the Visitors Center now. I've been attorney for local towns, so I'm obviously familiar with board situations and politics, and just being a member of the team. I'm not looking to stir things up or cause any problems, because frankly, I don't see a heck of a lot that needs to be changed. But I do have good ideas. I consider myself a bright person, and if the board is willing to hear ideas and work together with me, I'd love to do that with them as well. So I would appreciate a vote for being on the board. I would like to win an election. I tried running for Bayfield Judge, and during the pandemic, that just didn't work out too good. So all that aside, I'd appreciate any questions, and I'd appreciate being on the board. Regardless, I'll still be one of your best shoppers there, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince. Very nicely stated. We appreciate your comments. And, and Vince is one of our 3 candidates. Last but far from least, Laura, I would hand the mic back to you for your info about yourself and why you're running and what you're hoping to bring to the co-op in the next 3 years.
My office cat is here in the kitchen wondering why I'm having a meeting in the kitchen this time. My name is Laura Negro. I've been on the board for 1 term, and I've been the president for 2. You guys all saw my yada, 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 here's about me in the write-up I had to do. I always feel like when I'm on with a great group like this, my job is to help everybody bring in all the ideas and bring the group together and mentor leadership and have everybody have their turn. My thought is that co-op should take over the world. We've talked with our quite a few times with our co-op consultant on this. He agrees with me. And it kind of feeds into what Patty had said about our cooperation in bigger groups. I just, there's a lot of good things that we've done as a board, and we do it as a team, and we bring out the best in each other, whether it's agreeing opinions or not agreeing opinions. And I'd like to continue to bring out those good ideas and elicit those ideas and put the members' input into that mix to give you guys the best co-op possible. So I'll leave my spiel at that, short and sweet, because I'll have to talk again at the end of the meeting. So I hope
Thank
you'll
you.
vote for me, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Laura, Sarah, and Vincent. The job is now in all of the members' hands. We have, I believe, almost a week left to vote. Voting stops, I believe, next Friday at close of business on Friday. So please get your votes in if you haven't. And the board will continue, and we will take your inputs and try to do the best we can, keeping our co-op moving forward. Believe the next thing on our agenda is to go to Miss Sarah, and she has some goodies to give out to the members here tonight. Sarah, it's all yours.
Great, thank you. Can everyone hear me? Great. Yeah, so I've just got a little basket full of names here, and I'm gonna just draw them out. I think everyone got their name in here. And so we've got 10 prizes to give away, some local goodies and some cooperative goodies and all that. So we're gonna draw 10 names out here. And why don't we start with Patty's book? Let's see. All right. Oh, look at this. A Jane Anderson. Woohoo! All right. So Jane, you got the book plus a little jar of maple syrup.
I wanted that book. Thank you. Is it autographed too?
It probably is. I would believe
I
so.
hope so.
It is.
Oh, that was just awesome. Her presentation was wonderful. So thank you. I'm glad I got it. Thank you.
Great. All right. And next we're gonna give away, we've got some sweet little Organic Valley glasses here, a set of 2. And that's gonna go to Jan and David Connolly. I believe they're still here. Yeah, they are. Sweet. And again, all these prizes can be picked up at the store. Okay. Next, we're gonna do a little local goodie. We've got some soap and some maple syrup and some honey. And this one's gonna go to Vincent Gerda. Woohoo! Winning something. Woohoo!
Woo!
All right, and next we're gonna do some equal exchange chocolate bars that we've got. Woohoo! For Jen Matum. Here too.
Awesome. As a spouse of a board member, am I allowed to win something?
Oh, of course.
Oh, awesome. Then, and I love your chocolate, so thank you.
All right.
Hey, Sarah,
Next
this
we'll
is Vince.
give a,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
So my wife, I'm a lucky guy, this wife I have. So she does beekeeping and we have honey. So if you want to add that honey to someone else's winnings, I'll take the soap, but because we need to wash up. But if you want to add that honey to someone else,
I'll swap it out with something.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for that. Next we'll give away some Riojana Olive Oil, cooperatively made. Got Tom and Ann from Northwind Organic. Woohoo! Olive oil. All right. All right, the other Riojana cooperatively made good we're giving away is a bottle of wine. Woohoo! For, let's see. Ed and Linda Callahan. Woohoo! And let's see, we've got a few more here. We've got a little Frontier spice giveaway that's got a couple spice kits and also a big apron. And that one, let's see, is gonna go to Peter Steinkamp. Woohoo! Thanks for coming, everyone. All right. And then the next one we've got a water bottle with a charcoal filter in it, plus a couple other goodies to go along with it. And that one's gonna go to Ginger Hilsendager. And we've also got a little Dr. Bronner's set to give away with some soap and a book. All right, that one's gonna go to Lindsay Waldron. Woohoo.
Daniel, we won.
All right, and one more. We have got an olive, some olives plus a notebook and a bag, all from Davina Olives. And that one's gonna go to, woohoo, let's see, Sarah Jackson. Woohoo. And that's all, folks. So thanks for coming. Really appreciate it.
You had the best job of the night, Sarah. That's got to be fun giving stuff away. With that, Laura, I'm assuming you're looking to take on the baton to close things off for us. So thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Patty, and good night, all.
Yes, that Sarah was like the only one besides Patty that everybody was looking forward to listening to. So, but I appreciate all you guys. I can't wait to see you during the summer, along with some warm weather and maybe a little bit of natural vitamin D on our skin from the sun, and some more giveaways and breaking bread and conversations and wonderful faces live. Right now, I am looking for a motion to close the meeting. Oh, somebody wants to talk.
Do it.
I had a question first, Laura.
Make that motion.
Yeah, regarding the quorum. You know, we don't have that many people here compared to how many members we have. Have we met our quorum tonight? And what is our quorum requirements?
Look at you with all these smart questions. We don't have a quorum set.
Oh. Good bylaws.
Good bylaws, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it ended up working out. I mean, as horrible as the pandemic was, and trying to get people who want one more meeting online, yay, Zoom meetings. It ended up working out for that. So I do appreciate that. We have been looking at those things. So, but more for in an in-person kind of meeting, so we can have lots of input, especially while there's food and faces and things. So, there was somebody else I thought wanted to say something. Don't see her online anymore. Anyways, I did hear John make the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Nick seconds. Any discussion on ending the meeting? Congratulations to the winners. All those in favor of ending the meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And waves and such and thumbs up. Thank you very much. Looks like we're, oh, Gary. Oh,
Board.
So happy Saturday. Thank you for coming with us, and congratulations, all you winners.
Thanks, everyone. Have a lovely night.
Thank you.
And thank you for all
Thank
your
you,
beautiful
everyone.
faces.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, Lindsay and your little guy. Congratulations.
Thanks, Laura.
Thanks, Jane.
Well, thank you all. I guess I'll see you all Tuesday.
Tuesday,
absolutely.
Alrighty. Good job,
Right.
Laura. You guys,
Yeah.
good job tonight.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good meeting.
Laura.
Thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, thanks, Kirsten. Beautiful report. Nice to have all those numbers all, watching their faces as you were spitting out those numbers. There was a whole bunch of feedback from faces. That's
Good.
really my favorite thing about Zoom meetings is I get to see everybody's faces all at once. And it's like, oh, look at that one. Yep.
The
We got
reaction,
engagement here. So yeah.
I was too busy trying not to sound stupid. So you,
Did a great
sound
job.
great. You sound great. So
thank you.
yep. So you
All
guys
right.
have a great night. See you Tuesday.
You too. It's nice to see you guys.